A supernatural force of unimaginable power has begun hunting for human lives. Who awakened this monstrous killer, and can the clairvoyance stop it? Don't miss one of the most dangerous investigations yet. This is Psychic Investigations, a series of real and shocking cases where who call themselves clairvoyants uncover the truth behind notorious crimes and unexplained paranormal events. Ukrainian woman Lyudmila Turchin reached out to the psychics for help. One autumn night, she woke up to a phone call. A stranger's voice delivered a chilling message. "Go outside. Your son is dying."
I ran straight to the road. The ambulance was already there. It was terrifying. He was covered in blood. His head completely crushed. Open wounds, brain exposed.
The house where Lyudmila lives with her son is right by the highway. There, in the middle of the road, lay her bloodied son, part of his skull missing. Yet, somehow, he was still conscious.
He told me, "Mom, I was breathing through my brain. I thought I wouldn't survive seeing that."
Sasha was a truck driver. That night, he had been passing by his own home, transporting a load of corn. His truck suddenly stalled near the house, and he stepped out to check what was wrong.
When the man approached the body of the car, for some unknown reason, the bolt that held the side of the body came off, causing the side to open, and Sasha was covered with a ton of corn.
A complex brain surgery lasted several hours. Doctors were literally extracting corn kernels from Sasha's brain.
Right now, I'm in rehabilitation after the operation.
Sasha was left disabled and nearly lost his sight. The doctor's prognosis is grim. Doctors forbade him from working or doing any household chores. Any strain could cause brain swelling, which would be fatal for him.
I pray every day.
On her knees before the icons, Lyudmila prays for hours, begging for her son's life, because this is the fourth tragedy to strike her family. The first tragedy struck 20 years ago when her husband died in a car accident.
He left for work and never came back.
2 years ago, her eldest son, Serhiy, was in a fatal crash.
It snowed. The car skidded and a minibus crashed into them.
Then, Lyudmila buried her middle son, Dulskyi. He was found at home with a gunshot wound to the head. He was murdered.
It hurt so much.
And just 4 months after burying her second son, Sasha barely survived.
I had a family. And now there's no one left.
Why has such misfortune fallen upon her? People say, maybe it's a family curse.
Lyudmila noticed that before every tragedy, strange things happened in the house.
I'd walk and feel someone breathing behind me. I'd step into the yard. Bam. By the time I got there, the gate had already opened. Lights would turn on by themselves.
And now, the house seems to have come alive again.
Why does everything happen like this in my life?
Clairvoyant Olena Kurylova and her colleague, necromancer Dmytro Dulskyi, will delve into this strange story.
I feel pulsating pain. I see all these men, and they are beheaded. It's as if someone is collecting their heads.
Lyudmila's husband, Vyacheslav, died from a severe head injury. The same fate befell her eldest son, Serhiy. Her middle son, Dulskyi, was found dead with a gunshot wound to the head. The youngest, Sasha, underwent a critical brain surgery.
This guy, I see his heart is beating, but it's like he's lying in a coffin. Strange. His photo overlaps with the image of someone who is alive. Underground.
If you take a stack of photographs, there's this heat coming from them.
Olena, what's wrong?
I don't know. Give me that towel. The red one. Wet it. Thank you.
Let me see.
A red mark appeared on Olena's hand, resembling a burn.
Look, it's swollen and burning. This is an entity. It left its mark.
Olena had to call a doctor, but this was only the beginning of strange events. That night, Dmytro started knocking on every door in the hotel where our crew was staying. The clairvoyant kept repeating that he was attacked.
What happened?
I had just lain down to rest, barely closed my eyes, and something started choking me. And it said, "Don't help him, don't help. Leave this place." I broke free and ran straight to you.
Was it a spirit?
Half human, half skeleton. I couldn't make out exactly, but it wasn't from this world.
What's there?
What happened?
There are people. Let's go downstairs. Something's there.
It's impossible to believe. Right in front of the hotel where the clairvoyants are staying, a tree has fallen. It crashed onto our bus. And yet, there isn't even the slightest breeze outside. How is this possible?
Look at this. Some kind of dark force.
It's blocking our way so we can't leave.
It's 2:30 a.m. The clairvoyants return to the hotel. In the morning, they set out.
Hello, Olena. Hello, Dmytro. I've been waiting for you. Come inside.
He shouldn't have survived. Sasha is still in mortal danger.
A few hours before the clairvoyants arrived, Sasha was rushed to the hospital. His mother found him unconscious in his room and called an ambulance. His condition is now stable, but doctors did not allow him to appear on camera.
It's like a program designed to destroy your children.
Oh, please help us.
What was that?
The gate just closed.
As if someone just followed us.
Olena, I keep seeing numbers. 2, 6.
26. They all died on this date.
Lyudmila's husband died in a car crash on December 26th. Her eldest son, Serhiy, was killed in an accident on November 26th. Her middle son, Oleksii, was murdered on July 26th. And her youngest, Sasha, barely survived in November, also on the 26th.
It's a death date. A date of execution. It's like revenge. Who could be seeking revenge? Dmytro, do you need some water?
My head, it's choking me. And my head, something truly dark. It's here. It won't let us through. It says, leave.
It wasn't a spirit, a ghost, or a phantom. I couldn't understand what exactly was threatening Dmytro and me. Tell me, have you ever felt like someone else was in your house?
The lights turn on where they shouldn't. Something knocks, something moves.
Even as I walk through your home, I can sense a presence. A force that watches but doesn't know what to do with us.
My God.
The clock just fell. No one touched it. A cup flew off the table today, just like that.
Two and 6, the 26th.
It turned out the clock had stopped in the middle of the night at 2:30 a.m. Incredibly, that was the exact moment when the tree fell at the entrance of the hotel where the clairvoyants were staying.
When a clock stops, life stops.
But what happened next would shock even the most hardened skeptics. Just at that moment, Lyudmila received a call from the hospital. Sasha had lost consciousness again just minutes ago. That means it happened around the same time the clock fell. They barely managed to revive him. He is now resting, but his mother is beside herself with worry.
Olena. I keep seeing this figure. Half man, half skeleton, laughing at me. And again it says, "You won't help. Leave." It's the same figure I saw back at the hotel that night.
My head, it's starting to hurt again.
Please help us, I beg you.
In your word help, there's a low hum. The hum comes from underground. A man's voice is screaming, "Help me!" Wait. A rumble, a crash.
What was that?
There's no one there. I feel something pushing me from behind. They're here in a gray fog. Look.
No one understands where the clairvoyants are running. What did they see?
Men with crushed skulls. Film here. Don't film me. Turn around. The bus?
What's wrong with the vehicle?
It's like something pushed it. What about the radios? Can you record this?
Guys, we've got an audio issue.
Are the cameras even recording? What's that noise? Tell me.
Something incredibly strange was happening. Several cameras stopped recording simultaneously, and with the blaring alarms and static from the walkie-talkies, it was nearly impossible to hear anything.
At that moment, the cross I always wear started heating up. I grabbed it, and all I heard was, "Give me back what's mine." The farther I walked, the heavier each step became.
What's going on? Dmytro, are you okay?
There's a silhouette between the trees. Half human, half skeleton.
Suddenly, a woman interrupted the clairvoyant's work.
My name is Yanina. I'm Lyudmila's relative.
It turned out that Yanina was Lyudmila's cousin. She lived nearby.
I'm really worried about my family, especially my child. Something was strangling him. He screamed so loudly. He said he saw a ghost with some kind of stripes. I couldn't understand what he meant.
Those were bones. He saw a half-human, half-skeleton figure. A skeleton.
Now he's terrified. He won't leave my side, not even for a second.
What's your son's name?
Arseny. He'll be 6 in April.
Tell me, please. Has the little one complained about headaches or dizziness?
Yes, a lot recently. My husband and my son both suffer from severe headaches.
More than that, Yanina's son has already lost consciousness twice, seemingly out of nowhere. Her husband, just 2 days before the clairvoyants arrived, was in a minor car accident. He suffered a concussion.
All the deaths, all the tragedies, they're all connected to head injuries.
I'm terrified that my family might face the same fate as Lyudmila's. That's why I came here.
The scale of this danger is growing. It's horrifying, but everyone in this bloodline is doomed to die.
At that moment, I saw something terrifying moving straight toward Lyudmila. A voice, distorted, like through a radio full of static, kept repeating the same words. "Look in another cemetery." And then 3 spirits appeared before me. Lyudmila's sons and husband. I froze. They were holding their own heads in their hands. "We need to go to your family's graves."
I feel like, it's welcoming us, but at the same time, there's a force holding us back.
The wind.
There was no wind. 5 minutes ago, there was nothing.
What does that mean?
It's furious.
Hello, my dear ones. Tell us what's happening. Serhiy is here, Vyacheslav, and Oleksiy.
A man is approaching, taking heads. A rider on a flaming horse stood before me, holding the heads of Lyudmila's sons and her husband. And he spoke only one thing: "Give me the cross, and I will leave."
Who exactly is the clairvoyant seeing, and what do these strange words mean?
Who was buried alive?
Pavlo, grandmother's brother.
A young man.
Yes,
Young. Strong.
He was 22, maybe 24 years old.
My arm hurts again. Right where I got the burn yesterday. The sky... Was he struck by lightning?
Yes.
He is knocked out. He falls, unconscious, but his heart is still beating. They rush him into a coffin and lower him into the ground.
They thought he was dead and decided to bury him.
He wasn't dead. He woke up and he was banging his head against the coffin lid.
He screamed. He appeared in his sister's dream saying, I'm suffocating, I'm suffocating. And when they carried him to the cemetery, he was drenched in sweat. But the dead, they don't sweat.
Horrifying.
Was this on the 26th?
Yes.
Departed soul, tell me if it's really you. The hand, it's hot, not cold.
What does that mean?
I only feel this sensation in cemeteries under one condition: when he is near me, the master of the cemetery himself. Then, at a certain moment, the man who was buried alive. He stood before me, and the flaming horse approached him. It was the same rider I saw before. He collects the heads of the men in your family. He is your cemetery's master. The master of the cemetery is the one who serves as the bridge between the world of the dead and the world of the living.
The master of the cemetery is a spirit that protects the peace of the dead. Sometimes it is the one who was buried there first, the pioneer of the graveyard, so to speak. And it can take on different forms. To me, he appeared as a half-human skeleton. To Olena, he was a dark rider on a horse.
But what did they do to anger him like that?
They must have committed some kind of vandalism. Taken something from him in the cemetery.
They had something taken from him.
You can't take anything from a cemetery or from the dead. If you do, a horrible death awaits the person, and sometimes their entire family.
Something needs to be returned here. This is where the crosses are hung. Was there a cross on him when they buried him? He showed me his neck and pointed out that there was no cross. No cross at all. It was torn off, pulled off his neck.
Someone just ripped the cross off of him in the coffin.
He was supposed to have a son. Did he have a son?
A little one was left, but he also died right away.
This is shocking. But the 6-year-old boy died in an accident. He hit his head.
That boy had the cross in his hand, the one that was torn off.
I was shown that at some point the boy came to the coffin and tore off the cross. He took it, kept it for himself, and everyone saw it, but no one stopped him. No one put the cross back.
That's when everything fell into place. Even back at the hotel, the master of the cemetery came to me. He didn't strangle me. He just touched my neck, trying to show me that he wanted the cross back.
The cross ended up in the child's hands. The child passed away, and so did the young members of your family. He was searching for his cross and asking the boy to return it. He pointed to his neck, and he didn't understand that he was no longer alive. that he wasn't just a spirit, but a being with great power. And that power was deadly. He's still looking for his cross. And all he asks for is that the boy return it to him. The thing is, when he realized he had woken up, he was in the coffin. He understood it. He started banging his head against the coffin. That's why everyone has smashed heads.
It's been so long, so many generations have passed, and we've had to experience it all ourselves, as it has taken its toll on us.
He is not at rest.
So what should we do now? How can we ask for his forgiveness?
I will definitely go to the church. I will pray. I'll make an offering. Forgive me for my sins and the sins of my family. Take 3 candles from 3 different churches, then bring them here. And when it gets warm, watch them burn well.
A mystical house of horrors. Why are ghosts attacking a mother and her 3 daughters? Don't miss out. A shocking confession that will infuriate the psychics. Olena Tiupa is 42 years old. She works as a nurse in an intensive care unit and raises 3 daughters of 16, 17, and 19. The father left the family. For many years, the mother and her daughters had to live in rented apartments and hostels. They only had one dream: to have a home of their own. Eventually, Olena took out a loan and finally moved with her daughters into their own house.
I was so happy that I wanted to jump.
However, things changed quickly. And now, no one would want to stay within these walls. It all started 6 months ago, when the family heard footsteps in the attic.
It sounded like someone was walking in the attic.
I went up to the attic, but there was nobody there.
Then, mystical phenomena started happening in the house.
I have an icon hanging in the kitchen, and it flew from one corner to where the TV stands.
Then the wiring failed, and then the boiler exploded.
And then something that shocked the entire family happened. Olena recalls going to the kitchen to get some water. The next moment, she felt cold hands on her neck, but there was absolutely no one around.
My vision started to darken. I began to suffocate.
Then Olena fainted. The noise woke up one of her daughters. The girl still can't hold back her tears, remembering how she found her mother unconscious in the kitchen.
It's so terrible. I'm afraid for Mom.
The girls tried to revive their mother, but she didn't feel well at all.
I had a high fever. I was just lying there all limp and unable to get up.
An ambulance took Olena to the hospital. The doctors barely brought her back to life. However, she couldn't imagine what was happening at home with her daughters.
It was an awful night. We were going to go to bed. The curtain started moving. I could clearly feel someone's presence.
I heard something scratching in my closet. Then its door opened by itself and something like mist started coming out of the closet.
And a dark silhouette.
And I felt cold around my shoulders.
It felt like my throat was being squeezed, and I couldn't breathe.
The girls bolted out of the room. In the hallway, a large wardrobe fell on them as if someone had pushed it down. The sisters barely crawled out from under the debris and ran out of the house. They spent the rest of the night hugging each other on the doorstep.
I've even had a slight stutter ever since.
Since then, similar terrible things have occurred in the house almost daily. Out of fear and desperation, the family asks the psychics to help them.
I would really like to ask the psychics to come as soon as possible and help us.
The clairvoyants Jana Shulikova and Hala Polishchuk took on the task of helping the family.
I had a very strange vision. In it, I was standing at the threshold of a small enclosed dark space. I stepped over the threshold and onto shards of broken glass. I looked into one of them and saw a face. It was a male face. It was horrible, disfigured, and cut all over. I looked more closely into the shard and suddenly the man disappeared. Then I turned around, and there was an old clock on the wall behind me. The hands on this clock stopped at exactly 2 o'clock.
This must surely be connected to that family. Hello.
Hello. Come in. Thanks a lot for coming.
The mother and her daughters are visibly nervous, but it's not surprising at all. They have nowhere else to go. The woman is an ordinary nurse whose salary is not enough to buy a new home, and they can't sell this house.
I felt a strange, bitter taste in my mouth. This happens when I come into contact with the dead. The taste of death, if you prefer. But at that moment, living people stood before me. I shifted my gaze to Olena, and the bitter taste intensified. I could clearly see a human silhouette, like a shadow, behind her.
Ouch, I'm feeling dizzy.
Mom, do you need water?
Bring water, somebody.
Olena is unwell. The clairvoyants help her to recover.
I felt the same last night.
It turned out that Olena didn't sleep at all the night before the psychics arrived. She says she heard eerie sounds in the house again, and then she felt like something was choking her.
I saw a silhouette reaching out to strangle Mom.
The strange entity disappeared, but no one slept a wink until morning.
My God, you survived attempted suicide.
I tried to kill myself as a teenager. After I was raped, I went to the garage and tried to hang myself.
Olena's daughters are shocked as their mother never told them this terrible story. Even now, she refuses to speak about it in front of the camera. One day, when Olena was 15, she came back from school. Her cousin was at home. He assaulted her. Unable to bear the shame, the poor girl decided to take her own life. She grabbed a rope and ran to the garage.
The noose didn't tie.
This saved Olena's life, but a minute later, she faced another blow. Her cousin ran into the garage, knocked her to the ground, and started beating her violently.
He dragged me out of the garage and beat me because I wanted to hang myself.
It's horrifying, but how does this story relate to the paranormal phenomena in the house?
You have a very strong sense of guilt over someone's death. It's your family. Someone who shares your blood.
I had a strong urge to walk around the yard. I felt a strange cold. A woman's spirit appeared. Here. She's elderly. Dark hair, black clothes. Are you her granddaughter?
That's Grandma.
Katya started having a real hysterical fit. It turned out that the girl's grandmother, Yulia, died 3 years ago.
She's suffering.
Yes, she was Mom's favorite.
Grandma was my best friend.
Katya never left her cancer-stricken grandmother's side. She was there until the very last moment of her life and still can't come to terms with the heavy loss.
I would come and lie next to her, embracing her.
She says, "I'm here to get the ring."
She says, the man died because of the wedding ring.
Olena remembered that shortly before her death, her mother told her a terrible story from her life. She had a boyfriend when she was young. He proposed to her and gave her a ring, but she refused. After that, the young man hanged himself.
He proposed to her a few times, but she kept refusing. He couldn't take it and hanged himself because of her rejections.
Yulia couldn't forget the tragedy until the end of her life.
She often cried.
The spirit of Olena's mother came for a reason. She asked to bring her the ring that her boyfriend gave her, so it would be with her.
Olena says that when she was dying, her mother really did ask to put that ring in her coffin, but her daughter kept it for herself.
The ring with the red ruby that I took, it cracked suddenly in the middle of the night.
Olena had to fulfill her deceased mother's request and find the ring and take it to her grave. Her mother wasn't to blame for what was happening in the house. But who among the dead was so angry at her that they wanted to destroy the entire family?
It feels like a fog envelops everything here.
Jana Shulikova decides to check her senses using her pendulum.
At that moment, I heard a familiar sound, the loud ticking of a clock. The ticking grew louder and louder, then it suddenly stopped. And the clock's hands froze at 2 o'clock.
Jana Shulikova had already mentioned her vision where the clock's hands stopped at 2. It's now 1:55 p.m. The tension is rising. What could this all mean?
I thought the stopping of the clock was an omen of disaster, of death. Could it be a warning of impending danger? Oh, I wish I'd figured it out sooner.
What's this?
Out of a sudden, a window in the annex broke. The glass shattered, as if something had been thrown at it. But what was that? There was nothing nearby that could have broken the glass.
I went behind the house as I thought I saw someone run there. My God, this is terrible.
Jana, what's wrong?
He's standing, holding the glass.
The man.
I'll cut you. And he's cut all over. It was the spirit of some man. His face was slashed all over, and a powerful feeling of malice, hatred, and anger was emanating from him. The spirit is angry at you specifically.
The girls are genuinely frightened, but Olena seems unsurprised by the clairvoyant's words. It turned out she recently encountered something similar. She heard her dog howling in the yard at night and went out to calm her down.
Sarah, my dog, started reacting to me strangely. She was howling and whining.
And then Olena turned around and froze in horror. A ghost stood before her.
It was a man with his face slashed and covered in blood. He seemed so angry.
Olena says she ran back into the house in fear. When she calmed down, she went out again. There was nobody outside. The gate was closed, and there were no traces. Olena hadn't time to recover from the shock when suddenly something strange started happening to her old mobile phone. The phone hadn't worked for about a year, lying idly on the shelf, but now...
It started turning on and off by itself. Then I heard some kind of hissing, and then a muffled scream. Help!
The voice was coming from the phone, but the device was off. This is absolutely mind-boggling.
The spirit of the man was furious. Nonetheless, I still decided to engage in a dialogue with him to find out who he was and what he was doing there. Don't. No, don't.
Jana, what's wrong?
Everyone's horrified. The psychic's hand is bloodied.
She cut her hand.
I'm shocked. She cut her hand.
The blood on the ground.
Jana. My God, did you cut your hand?
It wasn't me. Oh my God. The man, he lunged at me with a piece of mirror. I covered my face with my hand. Ouch, it hurts.
The clairvoyants ask everyone to leave them alone and prohibited to film them.
What is it banging? Who's in the house?
But there's no one in the house. Olena and her daughters are outside.
Mom, your rose fell.
Indeed, the flower pot is on the floor. But how could it have fallen? There's no draft in here.
It's unbelievable. You know him. You definitely know him. You loved him, but you didn't save him. He's covered in blood because he was in pain. He was crying and calling you.
Uncle Sasha.
Sasha was Olena's partner. She met him 10 years ago during the celebration of the New Year's Eve with friends. They never parted after that, and even lived together. But one day, after an insignificant argument, he packed up and went away. The next morning, Olena found out he had died.
He called me at 11 p.m., asking to come over. I said, Sasha, hold on until the morning. It's night, how can I go? And at 2 a.m., Sasha died.
It happened 6 years ago. According to the official version, Sasha had a heart attack, fell, and hit his head.
The clock's hands in my vision stopped at 2. That was the time of Sasha's death. It all seemed to fit. But why was the man's spirit so mad at Olena? After all, it wasn't her fault that his heart stopped, and the quarrel is really nothing. It's a very minor reason to seek revenge, even after death. Moreover, the spirit I saw was bound to the house. But why was his face mutilated? And what did the mirror have to do with that all?
What's the man's spirit doing in your house? He didn't die here. And why is he so aggressive?
He's angry not because he wasn't saved, but because he's drawn here. At that moment, I saw another spirit in the house. It was a woman, standing by the doorstep. She waved her hand and said, "I don't want to be here. Come, I'll show you my real home."
Jana Shulikova goes out of the house and the yard, heading towards the neighbor's house.
A woman died here in a fire.
As it turned out, the woman was the former owner of Olena's house.
Another spirit, a child, approached the spirit of the woman standing by the gate of her house, and the child said sorrowfully, "We didn't want to be there. We were made to return."
I see a child coming, a toddler of about 3, somewhere from there.
A small child died here of leukemia.
When the locals learned that the psychics had arrived at their street, they came out to meet them.
That fence, the one that looks like marble, there are bodies upon bodies there.
An old man who lived there died, and then his wife also died. Then their son died, and so did their daughter. Their 3 nephews died too.
One by one, spirits appeared around us, and the most horrifying thing was that they were all mutilated, just like Sasha, Olena's husband.
But the most shocking thing was what Olena and her daughters later revealed. They believed that they saw the spirits of their deceased neighbors in their house.
The boy comes first. He's very angry. Then some noises start in the house, and the bloody-faced man appears.
Then the long-haired woman in black.
This is terrifying. Why have all the ghosts from the neighborhood gathered in this house?
At that moment, all the spirits disappeared. I turned around. They were all standing in Olena's yard. It looked like they were all drawn there by a magnet.
It seems something has fallen in the house again.
The books fell.
Magic.
Wait a minute, where did you get these?
I read them.
Why?
It was like a game for me. I tried to read cards.
Tell me more about this.
I tried spiritism, summoning spirits.
Well, great!
First you summon spirits, and then you ask for protection. Jana inherited her gift from her grandmother. I found a teacher to learn some form of protection. And you just took a book, read it, and that's it.
The clairvoyants are angry, but you can understand Olena. She's raising 3 daughters on her own. She has no support. Perhaps the poor woman wanted to improve her personal life with the help of magic.
Who is this?
My brother.
Who was here?
His wife.
Why did you cut her out?
So that she would leave him alone.
What the hell? What right did you have to interfere in someone else's life? Did you ever think what you were doing?
It turns out that Olena's intentions were not so innocent after all. It appears that she not only tried to master magical rituals on her own, but also sought to harm others.
It was Olena who summoned the spirits of her partner and neighbors. I was bursting with anger. She had absolutely no idea what she got into, and then we had to risk our lives trying to help her. What spirit likes being pulled from their rest? When they come to this world, they are angry because they were hurt. That's why the man with the mutilated face had the mirror in his hands. Olena used the mirror to summon spirits, and passing through the mirror for a spirit, I don't even know how to describe it. When a mirror breaks and shards fall on your face, does it hurt? This is what a spirit feels. Spirits must always be released. Once you have summoned them, you must release them.
She didn't understand what she did.
I'm not dealing with her problem. She messed up herself.
Mom, don't cry.
Jana, help us. Please help us. She's very unhappy.
I felt genuinely sorry for the 3 girls.
Pray. Pray to yourself asking for forgiveness, and remember every instance when you did magic.
Put your feet on the ground. This is an ancient ritual to break the link with the other world. Now I'll make candles. Burn them in your house for 3 days, 1 candle each day. Don't extinguish them yourself. Don't blow on them. Nothing. If it goes out by itself, falls from a draft, or gets knocked over, whatever, if it goes out, don't relight it. Throw it away into the river, for example. And burn those books. All of them. Luckily, we arrived in time and still could help the family. I hope this will end Olena's experiments with magic. But there are millions of people around us who are ready to risk their lives and the lives of others for dubious magical experiments. I hope this story will be a good lesson for them.
I'm not a little girl, but I was so foolish. I got into things I shouldn't have touched.
We did everything we could.
Thank you so much.
A faceless woman's ghost has started a nightmarish hunt for children and has taken a mother's young son. What is the woman seeking revenge for? And can the psychics stop the enraged spirit? This is Olha Jarek from a small Ukrainian village. Last year, her 3-year-old son died from severe electric shock. The boy grabbed an electrical cord that mysteriously detached from the roof of the house. That day, the mother left little Oleksiy under the supervision of his grandfather and elder brother Alexander, and within just a few hours, she learned that she would never see her son alive again.
I picked up the phone and Alexander was screaming. He shouted, "Mom, Oleksiy isn't breathing!" The ambulance was already here when I arrived. The doctor said it was over.
No one understands how the electrical wire, which was securely attached to the attic, ended up on the ground. But the mother is sure her son's death was no accident, because right before it happened, she had a sign.
I thought I heard someone call me. I turned around, and the light bulb burst. Boom. And I was covered in shards.
And 10 minutes later, she was informed that her son was gone.
She was in a stupor, constantly weeping and yelling.
The woman raised her 2 sons alone. To feed them, she worked as a shop assistant at 2 stores. Olha says she now fears losing her elder son too. Every night, she sees the same dream in which her Alexander lies dead in a coffin.
It's like I come into the yard and the gate is open and I see a funeral of my child.
Alexander has the same dream every night.
In the dream, I lie in a coffin.
I'm very afraid for my son's life.
But the most horrifying thing is that a poltergeist has appeared in the family's house. Objects have been falling off the shelf, windows breaking, and furniture moving. And one night, Alexander almost burned alive.
A socket started sparkling, and the couch caught fire.
I could have burned alive.
Soon, Olha also found herself in mortal danger. She was standing by the gate of her yard when suddenly some mysterious force pushed her under the wheels of a passing car.
I felt a shove and the car started braking, and the bumper hit my legs.
Desperate, the woman asks the psychics to come and help her as soon as possible. Participants of our project, clairvoyants Jana Shulikova and Olga Kalinova, responded to her plea.
I had a vision. It was night, and that woman was walking through a cemetery. She approached a grave, knelt down, and whispered something, like a spell.
I also saw a cemetery. There was a huge open grave. Inside stood a woman holding a dead boy in her arms, repeating the same phrase, "Take him." Then she looked up at me, but she had no face.
Who was that?
This is incredible. A flower pot fell from the windowsill, thrown down by a draft.
Yellow flowers.
Look. Find yellow flowers and you will stop death. Hello.
I've been waiting for you. Help me, please.
The cards are showing 3 coffins stacked one on top of the other.
Does it mean Olha and her elder son will die soon too?
It's quite possible. Oleksiy's death wasn't an accident. Some otherworldly force took the boy from his family, ripped him out of the world of the living.
Jana, where are you going? What did you see?
A picture from the past. A dead woman standing. She's got no face.
I see a faceless woman in my dreams.
She stands over a child holding something like a venomous snake in her hand, which she extends to the child.
It's the cord. This cord was hanging here.
It's unbelievable. On the day of the boy's death, Olha went to ask her younger son's godfather, who is an electrician, for help. He insulated the cord and fastened it securely on the attic of the house.
I can't understand how he even reached that cord. Only an adult person could have reached it.
According to Vitali, only an adult could tear off the electrical cord, and moreover, they wouldn't be able to do it without tools.
The spirit of the faceless woman from my vision took Olha's younger son to the afterlife.
Your son's spirit is here now. He's saying, beads.
Beads. I never called him Oleksii. He was my little beads.
He wants to hug you now.
It feels like I'm next to my son, holding him in my arms and hugging him.
He must have seen that woman.
He saw her. He pointed to the corner, saying, "So scary."
Did the boy see her? Where?
In the house.
Let's go check the inside the house. I see a spirit behind you. It's a woman.
The faceless woman?
No, I see her face. She died young. She's very beautiful. She has long dark hair and brown eyes. And she is related to you by blood.
My mom died early.
It's shocking. Could it be that this woman's mother is targeting her and her entire family?
The spirit of Olha's mother appeared for a reason. She kept repeating, "My death is a mystery." She's talking strangely, like she's drawing words out.
She was paralyzed.
Was it a stroke?
Yes, when she was in her 20s.
When Olha's mother got ill, it was a shock to everyone. A beautiful, active young woman was suddenly bedridden by a terrible disease.
She showed me a wedding ring on her right hand. This is somehow connected to Olha's father.
The cards are showing me a chariot. a life on the move.
My father was a serviceman. He was relocated to different towns all the time, and I went wherever he went.
Olha recalls saying goodbye to her mother, who was bedridden in the hospital. The relatives took care of her mother, while her father, a serviceman, took his daughter with him on long assignments.
Your mother's spirit says, I forgave him for everything. She's talking about your father. He is to blame for what happened to your mother.
And he keeps a secret, which you know.
My father beat her.
Olha can't hold back her tears. Her father beat her mother, who was pregnant for the second time, right in front of her. The baby died in the womb, and the poor mother's body was paralyzed by a stroke from the severe blows.
He beat her very badly, and it caused the stroke. How horrifying. Olha was the only witness to her mother's beating. But the father scared her so much that she was afraid to tell anyone about it.
The first stroke was bad enough, but the second one killed her.
After the first stroke, Olha's mother was paralyzed for a long time, but over time she managed to get back on her feet. But 15 years later, she had another stroke. At that time, Olha lived with her father in another country, so she never saw her mother before her death.
You feel guilty.
When Dad started beating Mom, I didn't call for help. Dad started beating her right in the street. If I had screamed, people would have come and helped her. But I only shut my eyes and cried.
You can't blame yourself for this. You were little.
Your tyrant father is to blame for everything, and your mother said she forgave him. Your mother loved you very much. She wishes you no harm, and she's only here because she wants to help you.
Tell her I love her very much.
She will always stand behind you and protect you.
Where are you going, Olga?
A man's spirit is standing here. Olha. He says he died because of your ritual. Did you ever practice magic? I see you coming to the cemetery at night and whispering something in front of a grave.
I came to the cemetery at night to visit Yuri. We were going to get married in May, but he was shot on April 1st.
This is terrible. 18 years ago, a local man shot Olha's fiancé in broad daylight.
But what were you doing in front of his grave at night?
I asked him to come to me because it was too hard without him.
Could it be Yuri's spirit that is disturbing Olha and her son because she won't let him rest?
The card said that the man died due to magical influence, which caused him to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yuri worked as a driver and occasionally drove taxis when he had free time. That evening, his acquaintances asked him to take them to a neighboring village, but he never returned home.
The killer was a madman.
He was mental.
The local man, who lived next to the place where Yuri brought his acquaintances, decided that he was going to rob him and shot him with a rifle. The bullet hit Yuri right in the heart.
Yuri's death is somehow connected with magic. Wait, I see another man who died. He was beaten to death.
Yes, that's Alexander's father. He was killed abroad. He went to work with his friend. He was hijacked and hit on the head. They stole his money and car key.
The attacker was never found. Olha only received a coffin with her husband's body from abroad.
The deaths of both men are connected with a magical ritual in which you participated voluntarily.
My mother-in-law took me to a fortune teller before the wedding.
Whose mother was she?
My first husband's, Mykola.
It turns out Olha had another husband, Mykola. It was Olha's first marriage, but before the wedding, her mother-in-law suggested she visit a local fortune teller to supposedly find out what fate awaited the young couple.
I was so naive back then and thought it was really necessary if she said so. After all, she was Mykola's mom.
So, could it be that the mother-in-law was somehow involved in what was happening? Your mother-in-law hated you from the very beginning.
Yes, that's true. At the wedding, she came up to us to congratulate and gave me yellow roses, and the number of the roses was E.
Jana, it's the key.
Find yellow flowers and you will stop death.
We need to see your mother-in-law.
I haven't seen her for 20 years, but her sister lives nearby.
15 minutes later, the psychics are at the house where Valentina, the sister of Olha's mother-in-law, lives.
Hello? Can we talk to you briefly?
Hello. Valentina refused to give us her sister's address, so we asked her to connect us with her at least by phone. My name is Jana Shulikova. It's about Olha, your ex-daughter-in-law. She says you took her to some ritual.
What ritual? She simply cracked eggs and looked. I didn't force her. The thing is that my son acted like he was bewitched.
And you thought Olha influenced him somehow?
Yes.
Did you order a ritual of loneliness to be imposed on Olha?
God forbid. What are you talking about? I swear by my children and my grandchildren, I never did it.
I sense that you didn't wish Olha to be your son's wife.
You're right.
But why?
She was pregnant.
Before she married your son?
Yes.
So, you were unhappy that Olha got pregnant by your son before the wedding, right?
Yes.
I see. I felt that Olha's mother-in-law wasn't lying. All she asked the fortune teller for was to separate her son from his fiancée, whom she couldn't stand. That's why she called Olha to attend the ritual. But no one asked how exactly the fortune teller would do it.
During some rituals, to make a woman lonely, you have to bind the spirit of someone deceased to her, and it kills everyone around her. So, I thought it could be the case, and the faceless woman's spirit was bound to Olha. Wait, your first husband is alive, although he also suffered from this ritual.
He's in jail.
Literally, a week after the wedding, Mikola assaulted a local woman, and after that, he stayed to wait for the police to arrive and arrest him. No one can still explain his strange behavior.
The second husband, all of them ended up in irrational situations.
Olha, what exactly did the fortune teller do?
I felt sick. I don't remember how I got home. She walked around me with a candle, shouting something out.
The fortune teller didn't bind a spirit to Olha during the ritual. It was a verbal curse ritual. She cursed Olha so that there would be no men around her.
But then, what force is attacking Olha and her son? Who is this faceless woman?
Where are you going? Olga! Olga.
She's here. The spirit of Olha's mother. She says, find the grave with the yellow flowers.
I put the yellow flowers on my mother's grave, the ones my mother-in-law gave me at the wedding.
We need to look for the source of your problems at your mother's grave.
It's not far from here.
I see the boy. Where's your mom?
Over here. They are in the same grave. He was buried on top of my mother. I had Mom's tombstone removed.
Last winter, I had an investigation where a woman came to ask me for help because a supernatural force was killing her entire family. In that story, the woman had a son who had died 30 years ago. The problem was that the mother didn't visit her son's grave. The cross rotted away, there was no tombstone, and a man was buried in the same grave because they thought the lot was vacant. It offended the spirit, and he started taking everyone to the other side.
The problem is also that Olha not only buried her child in her mother's grave, but she also removed the cross with her mother's name and replaced it with a cross with her son's photo. You can't do that.
Did you at least have a ritual?
We called a priest.
Did you tell him he was performing the ritual for two?
No.
That's unthinkable.
Wait, your mother asked you to come to her grave, but why isn't her spirit here?
It's not your mother's grave. Who did you bury here?
I was told it was my mother.
A complete stranger is buried here.
Then where's my mom?
The faceless woman is buried here. The body you thought was your mother and buried here is actually from a grave next to your mother's. And I have the impression that there are many of them. She was buried without a name. How is that possible?
My mother died as an unidentified person. When another stroke happened, she was at a bus stop. They took her to the hospital, where she stayed as an unidentified person. Then she died and was buried in a common grave under a number.
Only a year later did Olha receive a letter from her aunt informing her that her mother had died.
How did her body end up in this cemetery?
We had her dug up and brought here.
How did you identify your mother?
They gave us her belongings for identifications.
Olha buried a completely different woman who had been in the same common grave as Olha's mother.
It was the faceless woman from your vision.
Here you have the dead woman with a child in her arms. This is her grave, and he was buried here too, and she's shouting, "Take him away from here!" The woman's spirit is enraged. The first time she was disturbed was when her body was reburied. For this, she took Olha's younger son. And when her grave was disturbed a second time, she started hunting Olha and her elder son.
What do I do?
We need to perform a ritual to pacify her spirit.
When the candles are lit, the portal will open.
Forgive us for disturbing you, digging you up, and bringing you here. I will take care of you, and you will be like a mother to me too. I didn't know. I thought it was my mother. I would never have disturbed you. Please forgive me. I feel better now. How is my mother?
Come to visit her at least once a year. You know her number and you approximately know the place where she was buried. Order a memorial service for your mother, light candles, and pray for her as you do for the deceased. At the same time, pray for your son and this unknown woman. Everything is going to be fine.
A few months after the investigation, our journalists decided to contact Olha.
We are all right. Everything has settled down. Now I sleep like a baby. Before, I had no power and didn't want to do anything. Now I really want to give good education to my son, get him married, and take care of my grandchildren.
What an incredible story. A poltergeist is trying to kill people in a residential building. Don't miss out. Who awakened the evil spirits? What will one of the apartment owners confess to? Neighbor friends Masha and Liuda have contacted the psychics, asking for help. The women unanimously claim that some invisible force is driving them out of their homes.
I heard someone walk in the kitchen, forks clatter, and dishes fall and break. I went there to check, but found nobody or nothing there.
More than once, someone rang my doorbell. I answered the door, but there was no one there.
The woman first thought it was some kids playing pranks, but outsiders don't have access inside the building. The entrance door is locked.
Only the residents have the keys.
The residential building they live in is small, containing only 3 apartments. Masha lives on the first floor. Liuda rents the apartment above her. The 3rd apartment is empty. Its owners moved out several years ago because they couldn't sleep peacefully at night.
Everybody says it's hard to stay in here.
When I sleep, I feel something pressing on me, making it hard to breathe. I'm afraid I won't wake up one day.
Masha adds that she almost died in a fire 6 months ago.
My refrigerator caught fire at night. If I had been sleeping, I would have probably burned alive.
The women blamed power surges and had voltage stabilizers installed. But within a week, another disaster struck, this time in Liuda's apartment.
The TV was on in the room when it suddenly hissed and went black. Smoke filled the room. I almost suffocated.
The scariest part, however, is that all of this happens every time after the neighbors see a dark figure at home.
Like a shadow passes by. I got terrified.
The last time Liuda saw the black shadow, she was barely saved.
My whole body suddenly started burning for no reason. I couldn't bear the pain.
Her temperature exceeded 40 degrees. She called an ambulance. The medics urgently hospitalized her.
Pills, injections, nothing helped.
Only an ice bath saved Liuda from death. And as soon as she was back on her feet and returned to her dangerous home, she raised the alarm.
Before reaching out to you, I spoke to Father Oleg, our local priest. He came, walked around the building, and said that it was so heavily cursed that he couldn't handle it. As such, we decided to search for your help.
Psychics Olena Kurylova and Rubina Tsibulska responded to the women's plea.
I saw an image of a young woman with dark brown hair and gray eyes. She looked at me and turned into a cat. This Catwoman is somehow connected to our two neighbors.
I see skulls. There are lots of them all piled together. But they look strange. They are somehow distorted. I'll try to look through the fire. Whom did they belong to? And how are they connected? I saw Rubina. She was covered in blood, and she was lying in a pit. This might be a picture from the future.
We couldn't have imagined what disaster this investigation would bring for Rubina.
We must go. The neighbors are in mortal danger. As soon as we got out of the van, I saw a woman standing about 100 meters away. The same Catwoman from my vision. I wanted to approach her, but she disappeared.
Liuda and Masha are already waiting for the psychics outside.
Hello?
We're glad you responded to our plea.
The card of death. The card of revenge. Death because of revenge. Someone from the other world is seeking revenge on you.
I see that they both have problems with men.
Yes, it's true.
Both women are attractive and good at housekeeping, but they say men avoid them like lepers. Liuda's recent partner left her after spending a few nights in her apartment.
Strange things started happening, and he said, "Liuda, something's happening to me."
The building is not only killing your personal lives, but it's trying to destroy you physically.
It's a terrible situation. I see a door and hear moans and horrifying knocks. Do you hear the knocks?
Yes.
The knocking on the door and...
Yes, and the handle rattles.
I want to check the inside of the building. Who lives on the first floor?
I do.
Masha.
I'm going with Liuda.
Okay, Masha. Let's go. I feel like the walls are howling, the building is howling.
Your life is tough. You're lonely. Especially now. Your mom is gone. She died of a severe illness. Cancer?
Yes, my mom died 6 years ago.
Liuda is now 29. She has no parents left. She never started a family. Her brother and sister have their own families and live separately, but Liuda is all alone in these four walls. And now, she's in mortal danger at her own home.
Inside, I heard, "The answer lies in the ground." It's a clue. What's going on?
I'm shivering, and there are chills all over my body.
My God.
The picture fell.
Something paranormal was clearly happening in the house. Liuda felt unwell, and at that very moment, a picture suddenly fell off the wall. And for no reason, the TV turned on in the downstairs apartment.
God, the TV went on.
Here's the remote. Nobody switched it on.
What's going on in this seemingly unremarkable building?
Something's pushing me. The force was trying to drive me out of the building, and it's here. Restless souls who lost their lives. They're so angry. There are so many of them. The spirits are specifically avenging something on Liuda and Masha. I asked the cards, why? And the answer was, a blood relative who is no longer alive. Quiet, wait. Someone is pushing me here too. The hands pushing me were female.
It feels like someone is watching me.
I feel eyes on me.
A knock. Did you hear that? Hurry up, people.
What happened?
I see soil.
Yes, we found soil.
Yes, I found dirt. I went outside to hang clothes, and I saw something spilling.
The answer lies in the ground. This relates to you. This is cemetery soil.
A death curse.
Liuda, there's a woman who wants to get rid of you. And there's a man involved.
That's true.
The man has no wife.
His wife died.
Later, Liuda explained that 2 years ago, she met Volodya, a widower.
His wife was 25. She died. She had a brain tumor. He stayed alone with 2 little children.
Liuda fell in love with the man. She hoped that together they would create a family and she would replace the mother for his children. But another woman stood in the way.
Her mother.
Yes, she disapproves of me. She said she would make sure I don't live long.
Tell them about the texts.
Once, I put my niece to bed and felt my hands and face burning. Fortunately, my sister was there. She ran over and started sprinkling holy water on my face, and I drank it. I felt better, but before this happened, she would send me different text messages, like, "Are you dead yet?" or "You don't have much time left."
This is horrendous. But why is that woman so opposed to her son-in-law creating a new family?
I want to see that woman.
She lives nearby. Anybody home?
Come out. She even turned off the light.
The gate is locked. No one comes out.
She's afraid to come out.
Neighbors gather at the noise.
Hello?
I live in the street, and I know you are the psychics.
We're here for a reason.
My dear God. I don't think she's a witch. She hired someone.
She goes to sorceresses, and then he finds notes at home, like, how to get the husband back in the family. Does she want him back, or what?
People were whispering.
The woman wouldn't open up, but then, suddenly, Volodya himself came out of the house, and he didn't seem happy to see the guests.
Enough, go away.
Volodya, she loves you.
I don't love anyone anymore, go.
Liuda is in tears. No one expected such an outcome to the meeting.
I needed to feel the man's energy. Because if he's under a love spell, the consequences can be grave. First, such men start drinking. Then they go insane. He might even hang himself.
After we broke up, he started drinking heavily.
You know what didn't add up for me? The cemetery dirt was scattered under the common threshold at the entrance to the building. Liuda was the first to step over it, and she cleaned it up. The effect of the curse should have only affected her. Therefore, something else is killing Masha. There's something more powerful.
We need to go back, let's go. As we walked to the van, I saw the Catwoman again. She knows something and wants to tell me.
We are going back to the center of the town, where the Liuda and Masha live. It's growing dark, but there's still no answer to the main question.
Where to find the answer? The answer is right in front of you. Driver, stop.
The clairvoyants are 1.5 kilometers from Masha and Liuda's home. What did they sense?
There's something here.
Lubart's castle.
Prince Lubart's castle is the oldest building in the town. But how could it be connected to the mystical events in the unremarkable building these women live in?
Here, the cat, look. She came. I was just stunned. The cat was exactly like the one from my vision. It's like she's taking us somewhere.
What's there?
A church.
This is a miracle. After the cat brought leads the clairvoyants here, she disappeared right in front of the entrance to the church basement.
This is somehow connected to your house, too.
The phrase kept spinning in my head. The answer lies in the ground. Maybe it's something underground? Skulls. A child, a man.
I had a vision of skulls this morning. They were of an unusual shape. We're close to solving this. Look, is this the crypt?
The walls of the Catholic Church hold the remains of the once well-known Talizin family in this area. Stepan Talizin was the first commandant of the city.
There's a young woman here. She's around 20 years old.
The psychics are right next to the burial site of the commandant's wife, Magda. She died at the age of 19, 3 centuries ago.
This is the crypt where the woman who appeared to me in my visions and turned into a gray cat was buried. She wants to tell us about her death. She says, "Help me, and I'll help you."
The cause of Magda's death is indeed unknown. No records or medical records have survived.
She didn't die naturally. She was killed. There was a lot of blood.
She and her child were killed. Look, she's crying.
She was pregnant and she died from blood loss.
There were rumors that Magda indeed died during childbirth. Neither the mother nor the baby survived.
There was some kind of medical error. I clearly see her death as murder. This was a clue, but I couldn't understand how it was connected to the building.
It feels like someone is holding my hand. I thought it was that girl we were talking about.
Let's go where she's taking you.
To the exit? To the exit.
Masha's senses brought us to her apartment. She went inside with Rubina Tsibulska. Olena Kurylova stayed to work outside.
The scent of death. I hear those screams and moans again. Do you hear the knocks? They're coming from below.
There's a basement down there.
My God. My God.
I'm shivering. My face is burning.
And how many of them? Women, children. They're all dead. Tools. Blood. Blood. A pool of blood. I can't. There are too many of you.
What's this?
It's shocking. But the light went off all of a sudden.
Blood.
What's this?
Rubina is unwell. Quick!
Bring ammonia and water.
Her nose started bleeding. It was very scary.
Oh, guys, I can't.
I had a vision of you bloodied, lying in a pit. How could I let you go there alone?
A woman approached me and said, "A man is responsible for my and the children's deaths."
A doctor who lived here, a gynecologist?
Yes.
They performed abortions there.
It's so shocking. The man who lived here performed illegal abortions in this basement. Hurriedly, secretly, in unsanitary conditions. Without anesthesia, it was like a torture chamber. That's why we heard the terrible screams and moans in the building.
It turned out that a century ago, this entire 3-story building belonged to one person.
Gynecologist Josip Zawadzki. He received women at his home. In the basement, he performed abortions. At that time, it was illegal.
Now I understand why the skulls in my vision had such strange shapes. These were the heads of undeveloped babies.
The doctor would wrap the bodies in a cloth and bury them.
The woman whose spirit drove the residents of this building mad died here, at the hands of this same doctor.
One of the doctor's patients, Maria Alexieva, died during the operation. Both she and her baby died. After her funeral, the baby's body remained in this basement along with other babies' bodies. This tragedy is well documented. It occurred on May 20th, 1906.
I could have never imagined that such things happened here.
As for the doctor himself, he faced a severe retribution. His entire family was executed.
The souls of the infants and the deceased woman are restless. They are trapped in the basement. They are angry. But what do Masha and Lyuda have to do with it? The things happening in here now have only started recently. Something activated them. You were supposed to have a son. You know that.
Yes.
This was Masha's secret. No one knew about it. She was supposed to have a son, but the boy's future father was against it.
Why did you abide him?
I was panicked. I couldn't think straight at all.
She had no support.
Only later did it dawn on me. I sat, howling, in this apartment.
Masha had an abortion. After that, the souls of the babies and the women rebelled and decided she must be punished.
These souls need to be put to rest. We need to perform a ritual.
We will perform the ritual with 7 candles. The wax is dripping. Look, the faces of the babies. Do you see? The nose, the mouth, do you see that? It is being cleansed.
We sincerely hope that Masha and Lyuda will now live peacefully, and that their apartments will be filled with love and children's laughter.
We did our job.
I'm happy you came and helped us.
Thank you.
It's incredible what a terrible secret the basement of an ordinary residential building concealed.